Here is what is confusing about Ram trucks. You can have one owner run his Ram for 300,000 miles with nothing but oil changes, and the person across the street with the same year and same model dumping thousands into his engine every year. Same truck, completely different experience. The only difference is what engine is under the hood. These are the 3 worst and 4 best Ram engines ever made. Let's get the bad ones out of the way first. Number 1 on the worst list, the 3-liter EcoDiesel V6. This engine went into the Ram 1500 from 2014 through 2022, and it might be the most expensive mistake Ram ever bolted under a hood. The biggest problem is the high-pressure fuel pump. When it fails, it shreds itself from the inside out and blasts metal shavings through the fuel rails, the injectors, and every fuel line in the truck. One pump goes bad, and suddenly you are replacing the entire fuel delivery system. We are talking $10,000 to $12,000 at a Ram dealership. These are not high-mileage failures. Owners have reported complete engine failures at 19,000 miles, 43,000 miles, and 60,000 miles. Think about that, 19,000 miles. Some people do not even get through their first oil change interval before the engine grenades. One owner on a Ram forum said his engine blew up 3 separate times under warranty. Every time the dealer fixed it, the same thing happened again. Another owner was quoted $26,000 for a full replacement on a truck that was barely worth that. On top of all that, the government caught Fiat Chrysler hiding 8 defeat devices in the early models to cheat emissions testing. The company paid over $1 billion in fines and settlements, and the software fix they were forced to push out actually killed the truck's power and fuel economy. Ram discontinued the EcoDiesel after 2022. They walked away from their own engine. If you see that 3-liter diesel badge on a used Ram, keep walking unless you have a serious bumper-to-bumper warranty backing you up. But the EcoDiesel is not the only Ram engine with a reputation problem. Number 2 on the worst list, the 4.7-liter PowerTech V8. This engine was in the Ram 1500 from 2002 through 2013. The most infamous failure on the early models is dropped valve seats. The valve seats can physically fall out of the cylinder head while the engine is running, and when that happens, chunks of metal destroy the pistons, the cylinder walls, and the heads. Total engine loss. A rebuild runs around $6,000, and a full replacement was quoted at $9,000. Then there is the oil sludge problem. This engine cooks its own oil if you fall even slightly behind on maintenance. Skip one oil change, or run conventional oil past 5,000 miles, and you risk clogged passages, oil starvation, and a seized engine somewhere between 80,000 and 150,000 miles. Machine shops that work on these regularly say sludge is the #1 killer. The real kicker is that the 4.7 gets almost the same fuel economy as the 5.7-liter Hemi, while making way less power, 235 to 310 horsepower versus 345 to 395 from the Hemi. You are dealing with all of these reliability headaches for an engine that does not even pull its weight. If you see a used Ram with the 4.7, you are almost always better off spending a little more for a Hemi-equipped truck. The price difference on the used market is usually only a couple $1,000s, and that money buys you a completely different ownership experience. And speaking of engines that look good on paper but cause headaches in the real world, number 3 on the worst list is the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6. This is Ram's base engine in the 1500 from 2013 to present, and it has won Engine of the Year awards 7 times. It has also been the subject of a class action lawsuit for repeated valve train failures that happen no matter how well you maintain the truck. Owners call it the tick of death. Small bearings inside the valve train fail, and when they do, steel grinds directly against the camshaft. Metal shavings spread through the oil system and progressively chew up the camshafts, the lifters, and potentially the entire top end. The worst part is that this is not a maintenance issue. Owners who change their oil religiously on schedule still get the tick. Ram has redesigned the parts at least twice, and the problem keeps coming back. One owner reported having it fixed for the fourth or fifth time at 170,000 miles. Ram reportedly had 9,000 replacement camshafts on back order at one point because so many trucks needed them. Repair costs run $1,500 to $2,500 at an independent shop. If metal debris has contaminated the engine, a full replacement costs $6,000 to $7,000. The 3.6-liter only makes 269 pound-feet of torque, compared to 410 from the Hemi. That is over 50% less pulling power, with maybe 1 or 2 miles per gallon difference at the pump. Several Ram owners on the forums have said the same thing. They would not put a minivan engine in a full-size truck if they could do it over again. If you are finding this helpful so far, hit that subscribe button. We cover Ram truck tips and maintenance every week so you can keep your truck on the road and your wallet in your pocket. Now let us flip this around and talk about the 4 Ram engines that earned their reputation the hard way. Number 1 on the best list is the 5.7-liter Hemi V8, the workhorse. The Hemi has been the heart of the Ram 1500 since 2003, and there is a good reason it is the most popular engine in the lineup. Yes, the well-known lifter tick issue affects roughly 5 to 10% of these engines, mostly on the 2009 through 2016 models. But the other 90 to 95% deliver 200,000 to 300,000 miles of solid service without drama. A 2004 Ram 1500 was documented reaching 1 million miles on the original engine. The beauty of the Hemi is its simplicity. No turbochargers, no direct injection, no complex boost systems to fail. Just a cast iron block, a forged steel crankshaft, and 395 horsepower that any shop in the country can service. Parts are cheap, the aftermarket is enormous, and the engine just keeps going if you take care of it. When something does need fixing, you are not paying diesel money for parts and labor. The one thing to watch is the lifter tick. If you hear ticking at startup, do not ignore it. Repairs run $3,000 to $5,500 at an independent shop, and if you catch it early, you can save the camshaft. Stick with full synthetic oil changed every 5,000 miles, not the 10,000-mile interval in the owner's manual. Use quality filters and minimize extended idling. The best model years for reliability are 2003 through 2005 for the simplest versions, and 2017 through 2022 when Ram redesigned the lifter bearings. Do that homework, and a Hemi will be one of the most dependable engines you will ever own. Number 2 on the best list, the 6.4-liter Hemi V8. This might be the most underrated engine in Ram's entire lineup. It goes into the 2,500 and 3,500 heavy-duty trucks, and Ram built this thing like it was going into a commercial vehicle. Forged steel crankshaft, heavy-duty internals, and it was built for durability, tested to 300,000 miles using the same testing protocol they use for the Cummins diesel. The 6.4 makes 410 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque without a single turbocharger, intercooler, diesel particulate filter, diesel exhaust fluid tank, or exhaust gas recirculation cooler anywhere on the truck. You skip the emission system headaches, you save money at the pump compared to diesel, and any mechanic in the country can wrench on it. Owners running the 6.4 with the 8-speed automatic transmission consistently report reliable, 80,000 plus trouble-free towing miles pulling travel trailers and equipment. Highway fuel economy sits between 14 and 18 miles per gallon depending on your load, which beats diesel fuel costs for a lot of real-world use cases when you factor in the price difference at the pump. For 2019 and newer models, Ram includes a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty from the factory. If you want heavy-duty capability without the diesel price tag, the 6.4 deserves a serious look. Number 3 on the best list, the 6.7-liter Cummins turbo diesel. If there is one engine that defines the phrase "built to last," it is the Cummins inline 6 that has powered Ram heavy-duty trucks since 2007. This engine has a design life of 350,000 miles, and the real-world results blow that number away. One owner put over 1,700,000 miles on a 2007 Ram, hauling recreational vehicles across the country. Another owner documented over 1.3 million miles on a 2014 truck. The Cummins High Mileage Club has over 6,700 registered trucks, with more than 90 past the million-mile mark. Current versions produce up to 430 horsepower and 1,075 pound-feet of torque, making it the first pickup truck diesel to break the 1,000-pound-foot barrier. The inline 6 design is a big part of why these engines last so long. Fewer moving parts than a V8 means fewer things that can break, and the design has been used in commercial trucks and heavy equipment for decades. The sweet spot for used buyers is 2013 through 2018. Those trucks got updated emission systems that dramatically reduced maintenance headaches while still running the proven fuel pump that does not self-destruct. Avoid 2019 and 2020 if you can, because Ram switched to the same problematic fuel pump design that wrecked EcoDiesel engines. They corrected it for 2021. But the newer trucks also have a different lifter design that some owners have reported issues with. If you are buying 2019 or newer, budget for an extended warranty just in case. Cummins trucks cost $5,000 to $15,000 more than Hemi-equipped heavy-duty Rams on the used market, but that premium reflects genuine durability that no gas engine can match. Number 4 on the best list is the 5.9-liter Cummins. This is the engine that started the legend, and the 2003 through 2007 version might be the most collectible truck engine ever produced. Clean examples with over 150,000 miles are selling for $25,000 to $40,000 on the used market, which in many cases is more than the original sticker price when the truck was new. That almost never happens in the truck world. People are paying a premium for trucks that are almost 20 years old because this engine is that good. What makes it special is the combination of a modern fuel injection system and absolutely zero emissions equipment. The engine runs without a diesel particulate filter, without an exhaust gas recirculation system, without diesel exhaust fluid, and without any of the complexity that causes headaches on newer diesel trucks. It makes 305 to 325 horsepower and up to 610 pound-feet of torque from a block that responds beautifully to performance tuning. Known problems are laughably minor compared to everything else on this list. A fuel control actuator that costs about $130, a pressure relief valve that sticks occasionally, a water pump is a normal wear item. That is essentially it. The all-time mileage record for a Cummins belongs to a 1996 5.9-liter Cummins that covered over 3 million miles. So there you have it. 3 Ram engines to avoid, and 4 that earn every bit of their reputation. The engine under the hood is the single most important decision you will make when buying a Ram truck. Choose the right one, maintain it properly, and your truck will reward you with hundreds of thousands of miles of reliable service. If you want to see the maintenance schedule that keeps these engines running strong, that video is on screen right now.